Hey guys, it's Christine with Indigo Wings, and I am doing a mini twin flame reading for you this week for March 4th through March 10th. I had originally planned on doing the full spread that I normally do for the energy readings, but for some reason when I sat down I just kind of felt like the mini was the way to go. I might be recording another reading sometime over the weekend or early next week. I'm kind of feeling guided to do another one of the spreads where I do the feminine energy, the masculine energy, and then the union energy, and then go through and talk about the blocks and how to move through them. But we'll kind of see how that plays out in the next couple of days. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for joining. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like a little discombobulated today. I had all sorts of things planned for myself, and we ended up with a snow day. And so all of my plans have kind of gone out the window, and it's totally fine. But I think for some reason my brain is feeling a little scrambled right now. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of hop into the reading. I hope that this resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's okay. It's just not the reading for you. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I think that that's the main thing that I want to get across. If you are interested in getting a reading with me, if it feels like I'm talking directly to you, then I am the reader for you. All of my contact information is in the description box below, so you can check that out if you are interested. If you like this reading, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you are notified every time I upload a new reading. So the first cards that came out, and interestingly enough, for each pieces of this reading, 2 cards came out, and for the feminine, we have opportunity beckons, and then we have joy and stability, which I was actually a little surprised to see this card come out, because when I've tuned in this past week, I was definitely not getting joy and stability. So I feel like this is definitely a change, maybe a shift that's come about from this full moon that we just had yesterday. I'm recording this on March 2nd, by the way, so we had the full moon yesterday. What I first noticed, what stood out to me with these cards, both of these cards are 4s, so to me right away this was talking about stability, and I really feel like that's I really feel like that is what the feminine energies are striving for right now. There's a real desire to feel even and stable. I feel like the last 2 months have been very up and down, energetically and emotionally, and they're just like, okay, I need to even out. And so that's kind of what I'm getting, particularly from this card. Not so much getting joy, although I believe that is something the feminine desires, but more than anything, I'm feeling like there's just a desire to be stable, even, and not so much of the up and down. The other thing that I noticed right away with the numerology of these cards, of course we have the 4s. I also noticed, the 4, 2 4s, and then an 8. And in one of my videos, I think within the last 2 months, there were a lot of 8s in that reading. And, if you turn the 8 on its side, we have, it looks like an infinity symbol. And, as we know, if you're speaking of soul connections, twin connections, they're infinite. And on this Opportunity Beckons card, you have the infinity sign on this orb. Now, with this Opportunity Beckons, I'm not so much getting, for some of you, I definitely feel like there are new opportunities coming, but I feel like it's like new beginnings. And with this, one of the things that I had read with this full moon that we just experienced, it was the last one in this astrological year. So we are heading into a new astrological year with, so that makes sense with new beginnings. And with this Opportunity Beckons, I'm feeling like there's so many feminine twins who, I don't know, I'm having a hard time describing the feeling that I have right now, because one of the gifts that I have, I overwhelmingly am clairsentient, which is I sense, which I feel things, which can sometimes be very hard for me to put into words. And so it's like I'm getting, like I'm sensing and I'm feeling all the feels that are out there in the collective. What I'm getting here is just like, it's like you feel like you're on the cusp of something. Like you've been through so much and you just feel done. And it's like this person reminds me of somebody who they've just got like this really big decision to make. And like I feel like there's this worry of making the wrong decision. I feel like there's many of you who are trying to decide, do I move on from something? Many of you are feeling like, do I let go of something? And you're worried about making the wrong move. And it's like really weighing on you. Like that's the energy that I'm getting. And so much of this is really tied into that desire for wanting stability in your life. Because whatever it is that you're worried about and thinking about, it is tied into the ups and downs that you've been experiencing. I pulled a clarifying card for these two cards, and we got the Ace of Earth, which is telling me that, which first of all, one thing I want to clarify here, there's no wrong decisions. Like we can't make any like wrong choices or bad choices. There's no really right or wrong. We're always going to end up where we're supposed to be. So try to remember that you can't do anything wrong. And no matter what it is that you decide to do, it's a new start, it's a new beginning. And I feel like we're all on the cusp of this new beginning. really, I mean, in some parts, just because we are on the cusp of the new astrological year. Also because we are in a place of coming, for like where I live in the United States, we're coming out of winter, aside from the fact that we just had a snow day today. But in reality, we're coming out of winter and we're coming into spring, which is a time of new beginnings. Things are going to start growing again soon. I know in the Southern Hemisphere it's opposite, but it's still the same concept, that even though it's different because I believe you're heading into a different season where it's going to be heading into your fall and winter. It's a change of your seasons. And so things are changing, and it's a time of newness and change and transition. And so, this Ace of Earth, it's new beginnings and changes, and I do think that many of the feminine have something new coming in for them. The Ace of Earth, it's like the Ace of Pentacles. This has to do with material things. Some of you may have something coming in for you that has to do with, potentially like a job offer or like something related to career. But something's coming in for you that has to do with abundance. So for some of you that could be related to other things, because abundance doesn't have to be tied to money and material things. It's whatever you see abundance as. But there's definitely newness coming into your life. For the masculine, we have strengthening bonds and awaiting results. And so the first thing I noticed with these cards, both of the people in these cards are facing in the direction of the feminine's cards, which these cards kind of surprised me. And again, I don't know why. I think maybe it's because of a lot of the clients that I've currently been working with. It's a change from what I've been connecting with and what I've been seeing. The next thing that I noticed is that these cards are a 7 and a 1. So like the feminine's cards, the numerology of these two cards together is an 8. So again, the 8 and the infinity, indicating that infinite connection. So I feel like with the strengthening bonds, I do feel like for some of you there is an effort taking place either in the 3D or on the 5D, that there's an attempt to kind of have a better connection and strengthen that connection. But even more, I feel like there's a realization on the masculine's end that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Because if you notice, there's, these trees kind of make like a tunnel in a way, and there's a light at the end of it. And that's kind of what I feel like, because as difficult of a time as the feminine may be having, the masculine is typically not having an easy time either. And I feel like whatever it is that they've been experiencing, I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel for them. And in that light at the end of the tunnel, they're hoping to be able to strengthen bonds and reach out and work things out, or just not even, they may not have anything to work out, but just smooth things over or do whatever it is that they need to do with their counterpart. And I think for some of them, we have the awaiting results. I'm feeling like some of them are having a hard time with the concept of divine timing, just like many of the feminine do. I feel like some of them may reach out and they get very insecure if they don't get a desired response right away, or if they don't get the response that they were hoping for. And what I'm getting with this card is you see that there's this apple at the top, and it doesn't really look like it's ripe, like it's not ready to be picked. And I'm getting divine timing, like they need to understand that things will happen when it's the right time. And kind of like with an apple, like an apple tastes best when you pick it when it's ripe. Like if you pick it too soon, it's not going to taste very good. Or if you wait too long, it's probably going to drop onto the ground and be kind of mushy and gross and whatever. And I don't know if you've seen, there's this commercial which absolutely drives me crazy, and I can't remember what it's for, but it's something with peaches. And like there's a guy he's up on a ladder and he's got his hand up and he's about to pick a peach, and they're like, not yet, not yet, not yet. And then this girl, in a super obnoxious way, and I'm being very judgy right now, but super obnoxious way, tells him to pick that peach. And the commercial goes on about how they get the perfect flavor in whatever the product is. But it's kind of like that, like just taking advantage of the perfect moment of when that divine timing is taking place, is, picking the fruit when it's the exactly right time. And I feel like that's something that they're learning, that, and I feel like they're not as patient as everybody thinks that they are. That's what I'm getting. The clarifying cards that came out here, we got the World. So this is a card, breaks down to a 1. So also new beginnings. There's definitely this energy of new beginnings taking place. And I love that this card really, I feel like, goes nicely with the cards that came up for the masculine. The Wheel is about fortune being on your side and things start to move forward. And I feel like they're going to start seeing the positive changes and how divine timing is it is at play in their lives. And then the next card is about it's the Page of Earth, and I feel like they're going to be getting messages about material types of things. I'm actually feeling like the feminine might be sharing some of what's going on with her with them, and for some of the masculine, that might actually kind of be inspiring for them to want to do more in their life, you know, maybe wanting to go back to school or maybe take a class, or there might be even some collaboration on a work project or something that they can do together. But pages are messengers, and so I definitely feel like there's going to be some sort of message that the masculine are going to receive about something, about material matters, something I think that is going to have to do with abundance, career, something in that area. The combined energy, the cards that come up here are the heart chakra, and we have a 4, again for stability, and then we have trust. And so right away what stood out to me is that, so we have a 4 and a 0. So together these cards are 4. And I felt like immediately, I'm like, okay, I feel like there's going to be some stability this week, particularly in the heart space. I do feel like, you know, like what I was saying in the beginning with the feminine, I feel like emotionally, you know, it's been up and down, energetically, spiritually. The last couple months has been rocky for maybe not everybody, but for a lot of people. And I feel like, you know, this message coming across is like, okay, we're going to get a respite. We're going to get a little bit of a break, and things are going to be a little more even-keeled. You know, I feel like there's going to be a little bit more focus, both the masculine and feminine, you know, living from the heart space, but it's going to be, you know, like a even-keeled, stable energy. And then we have trust. And I feel like, you know, the message I got right away from this card is not so much about taking a leap of faith and that aspect. I feel very much like the message here is trust in this connection, that things are going to be all right, and that just have faith. That was really what I was getting for this. Like right now, like this week, as you're kind of enjoying this period of, you know, this week without highs and lows, just trust and just enjoy that. And the clarifying card that I pulled here, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. The 3 of Fire. And like I said, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. You know, this is a card of just kind of taking it all in. You know, it's a card of abundance. It's a card of being patient with where you're at right now, and, you know, being able to make plans for the future. This is a girl who's sitting on a hill with her best friend. Her best friend happens to be a dragon. That's okay. We're not judging. But they're best friends. They have a connection, and you know, their journey is stalled because there's a volcano erupting and lava is spewing all over, and, you know, they can't, you know, cross the valley and continue their journey, and so they're just waiting patiently to get on with it, and kind of looking out and planning their future, planning what the journey's going to look like. And I feel like that's just like a really nice, sweet energy. And that's the clarifying card here, that that, yeah, maybe we can't move forward right this second, but let's just enjoy where we are. We'll be patient. Let's plan for our future because it looks really good. I love this card, in case you can't tell. And then the near future, I got shine, and I got well-deserved reward. And with shine, this card is the equivalent of the sun. This card is, giving me a mixture of, just going with where you're at, surrender, but also knowing that, things are going to work out. This is a card of success. This is a card of, again, like I said, this card reminds me of surrender, but not like in a sad way. This is surrender, and just knowing that everything's going to be okay. And I feel like being in that place takes you to this well-deserved reward. What is your well-deserved reward? I don't know. I think it's going to look different for everyone. And the two cards together, we have a 19 and a 9. And I believe that is a 28. Math is not my strong point, I will be honest, but it's a 28, which breaks down to a 10. Pretty sure, right? Watch, someone's going to tell me I'm wrong. Let's see, 8. 9 plus 9 is 18. Yeah, 28. Okay. And then 8, 9, 10. And then 10 breaks down to a 1. So new beginnings. So like everywhere we go in this card is a card of new beginnings, or are numbers of new beginnings. So I really love that with this reading, that new beginnings are coming. And what's interesting with the clarifying cards here, the clarifying cards I feel like really echo these two cards. We have the 5 of Earth, and with the 5 of Earth, I can see how people, when they're coming into a place of surrender, it can feel really scary. And the 5 of Earth is a card of, fear around, that things might not work out for you. But if you just surrender to knowing that everything's going to be okay, accept help from other people, you get the King of Earth. And the King of Earth is, everything works out in your favor. The King of Earth is a card of success. This is the guy that everything he touches turns to gold, which, plays along so nicely with that well-deserved reward. And so, I really feel like as you move into that place of surrender and going with the flow, you're going to be rewarded in some way. And I think that, the way the King of Earth and the well-deserved reward, I think how this presents is going to look completely different for everybody, but it's coming. It's coming. So the surrender card that I pulled for the feminine is surrender stubbornness, which I thought was really interesting. The message here is, if you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. So where are you being super rigid about something? And, I'm a Virgo. So this card, I was like, ooh, that's good. Because because I definitely have places where I can be overly rigid about things. You know, that's a wake-up call for me to take a look at, for sure. And then I was really surprised. I shouldn't say surprised, pleasantly surprised by the surrender card for the masculine. It's surrender to your full power. And, you know, this is something that I have talked about in the past, that, you know, a lot of the masculine twins, like, they really need to work on their solar plexus. You know, where are they giving their power away? So many of them really are giving their power away to other individuals. And this card says, your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. And so it's really important for them to take a look at where they've been playing it small in their life. And then the final card, I pulled a oracle card from the Love Your Inner Goddess deck. And the card that I pulled is, I think, really pretty. Is Soul Sisters. And the card says 2 hearts, 1 soul, sisterhood. And so the message of this card is, you are being emotionally and psychologically influenced by the people around you more than you may realize. Sometimes this is good. They uplift and inspire you and help you feel loved and loving. However, sometimes you can sense that being truly yourself in a situation could result in unwanted conflict, and you undermine yourself to keep the peace. You'll find that the moment you stop doing this, some difficulties you've been having and moving forward will fall away, almost as if by magic. The relationships worth holding on to can handle a little more truth, even if feathers get ruffled, before being smoothed over with love once more. So I'm not sure who needed that message, but I know that some of you needed it because that's the card that came out. So that is all I have for you guys today for the reading, but we're on half an hour, so I shouldn't say that's all I have because I talked for a while. I hope that this reading resonated with you. I hope it was helpful for you. Please, like I said, if this reading was helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment below. I do read them all, and I love hearing from you. And if you are interested in a personal reading from me, like I said earlier in the video, all of my information on how to get in touch with me is in the description box below. I hopefully will be uploading another video in the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. And I will see you guys all soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.